We're back. July 2nd, day after Canada Day. Engineer extraordinaire and producer AJ Bennell in the studio tonight. Loddy, the owner. Angry Jay, looking happy tonight. It was a good week. Just celebrated a birthday.
Yeah.
Just celebrated a birthday. The father, the Don father, terrible shirt tonight. And the former applicant for Major League Baseball commissioner.
Who's that?
The commish. You guys didn't know that? Twitter, LodMac_Yanks. Instagram, Loddy_and_Mac_sports. We're getting tons of action.
Some Twitter action this week, yeah.
Without a doubt. Skygazer still hitting it hard with the donations. L&R. We're gonna keep them. We're gonna keep them at an arm's distance, but we got to change ownership. Chiz Clothing, always donating. Twister Baseball Clinics.
Chiz for the outfits tonight. They look good, guys. Look good on you guys.
Thanks, brother.
They're coming. They're on the way. And then
I like the matching outfits.
You like the new coasters?
I do.
Thank you.
there should be a star in that one. Frank's Transmissions had a good run, and this is the last time we'll mention it. We're starting with the Yanks.
Somebody brought their car there, and it never came back. He went to go pick it up. They were shut down. It was locked in the bay.
Yanks are hot. Cash staying hot. Booney staying hot. Hal said, don't worry. Why are these guys panicking in June? Well, it's July. 46-38. You head out to Oakland and St. Louis, and you come back with a 3-3 road trip, and people are happy about the guy. German, his name is Domingo German. He pitched a perfect game against Wolcott. No, it wasn't. Who was it? It was the A's. It was the A's. It wasn't Wolcott.
Commish stayed up for that game.
I did. I stayed up all night for that thing.
Commish, every out?
Every out. Me and my son. Yep.
Die hard. Good for you.
It was an awesome moment for the kid and the catcher, and I like the way that he kind of waited for the whole team and made that almost a team thing. I mean, we couldn't understand him after the game anyway, so we might as well have made it about the whole roster.
I'm surprised they let him go through the third time in the lineup.
Yeah, he did good outs. 46-38. Are you kidding me?
Is there a more boring team in baseball?
That's a miracle.
Yeah, it really is.
In the division, only ahead of the Blue Jays, who are probably a worse story with the guys they've signed. And how about Manoah? Is that great?
Oh, Jesus.
He stinks.
Yankee rookie team lit him
rip
up.
him.
Yeah, Yankee rookie team did.
Whole division with a winning record, right?
Bodie's Thomason team would rip him.
Boston 7-0 against Toronto
hits
this
all
year.
year.
If you score 4 runs, you're beating the Yankees this year.
Absolutely.
That's all it takes.
What a shame.
Sox, I can't even make fun of them because
Can't.
they're gritty.
They're
And
fun to watch.
are they over 500?
Yep.
Yeah. Beat Toronto again. Swept them.
So the pitching is not to blame. And, defense isn't to blame. Base running just doesn't exist because unless Volpe's stealing a bag, everyone
IKF
else
too.
Cadillacs it.
IKF too has been good on the baseball.
Oh, you know what? I had an IKF thing. Yeah. Let's jump into IKF right now. For an otherwise boring team, as Loddy put it. And I was down on IKF. I didn't want him when we got him. I didn't want him when he was our best player last year for a stretch. I didn't want him on the field this year because I just didn't think we'd be better for it. But if there's one guy that gets dirty, he slides, he dives. Now he's played multiple positions only because we backed him into that corner. Did it with a smile. Not with a smile. He did it with furrowed brow, man, trying to compete and be mean. And if you have to throw him up there on the mound, do that too. Playing center field. They said he's the third string catcher, right?
Yeah.
If you looked in the lineup today because Rizzo didn't play, he had the highest batting average at 257. That's really what you need to know about the Yankees. And this is not a knock on IKF. He should not be playing every day, and he should not be the center fielder for the Yankees. He's a nice utility guy. I'd like to see him at third base more than anything. But he shouldn't be playing an outfield position every day, and I just feel like he's in there every day. I know they don't have anything else, and that's an indictment on Cashman, and we've talked about it for months. He's been a nice little reclamation project, but if he goes away after this year and he's a free agent, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so he blew a fly ball a couple weeks ago in center field that pretty much cost him a game, and he actually admitted it. He said the game was on him. And when he blew it, I was kind of swearing at my TV set. believe it or not. And I started thinking about it afterwards. Like, how bad is Cashman? Like, we don't have an outfielder.
Awful. That's
Like
what I'm saying.
this guy's like volunteering to play the outfield. We have Jake Bowers out there, who's a first baseman. Where do we get McKinney from Bethlehem? Like, what?
Playing well.
Well, we got for what is expected, because nothing is expected of him. And we have IKF like pitching, and we pitched Donaldson the other day. The manager was laughing afterwards because he got a 1-2-3 instead of us getting embarrassed. Like, we stink. Like, who are we beating? Like, we'll make it. We'll be the third wild card, and we'll talk about how it's a, it's just a crapshoot when we get our butts kicked in the playoffs.
Or
Like,
if
we suck.
Judge comes back. Why would you ever pitch him?
Yeah.
Why would you even waste your time?
If Judge comes back, you think he's coming back, but if he doesn't come back, they're not making the playoffs.
Our lineup is
I don't
pathetic.
see
I
it.
was just gonna say that too.
I don't see
Angry.
it.
I'm the guy that's silver lining.
You are the most optimistic of all.
I
of us,
want
but
I want to watch baseball in October. I mean, that's the thing. I'm more of a fan than a realist at this point. I get it, but I want to be in the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
And Jim Mora, and I don't think we have a shot. I don't care what the standings say right now. I honestly, for the first time this early in the season,
Michael
I don't
K.
think we have a shot.
Michael K. broke out the Luis Severino award today for Carlos Rodon, who's supposed to pitch on Thursday, which just like getting an ace right at the trade deadline. That's the annual Luis Severino
We don't
award. It's
need
going to
another
Rodon.
pitcher.
Exactly. And we need a guy who can actually get a hit.
Can
And-
Rodon hit like CC did? For
like
the
how
Brewers?
Donaldson actually hits a home run the other day, and he doesn't play the next. Like, he didn't
did
play
you
today.
see Cabrera played third base the other day? He made 2 errors. Like, all these guys are out of position because they don't have any regular guys.
Hey, Boone also said that Glaber should be in the All-Star.
That's a joke.
It's good.
What?
He said that today before the game because the All-Star guys came out today, and Glaber didn't make it, and he said it's disappointing because he thought Glaber was an All-Star. It is good to know that his talent evaluation is just as bad as his in-game decisions.
Guy's batting 245.
Glaber, All-Star. That's what he said.
Let me tell you, he is the most Hollywood, boring, nonchalant son of a gun since Cano to wear pinstripes. And Cano was Hall of Fame talent until what happened.
Cano could hit, man.
That's what I mean.
He could hit.
Jeez, he's still probably not too far off, even though he won't make it based on how it ended. But
Talk about terrible
Guy
baseball
doesn't-
instincts too, right?
oh
He
my
has
God,
no
the
instincts to
base
feel like-
running.
Commish,
Running, throwing.
Commish, when you were little, right? You always had a favorite guy. It was Donnie Baseball in the bad days. So when the box scores came out, that's the guy you always looked for first, right?
Right.
Who do you even look for first on this particular team when Judge is not playing? Do you even have a guy? Who
I
are
gotta
we-
say Rizzo's the guy I look at. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really being honest, IKF, Volpe now doing some.
Yeah,
small
I look
things.
at Volpe. That's the
And-
only one.
And I don't know. Beyond that, it's like you don't know who's going to play one day, and so sick of watching Donaldson sell out on that fastball to try to hit 470 feet, and
He
they're
got
supposed to
one,
Save him
finally.
for 3 games.
Is he gone at the All-Star break? I mean, they just can't keep running him out there. He's batting 140.
They don't make mistakes. That's according to Brian Cashman.
How about
They
him
keep him forever.
bat flipping and watching the ball hit short hop the fence? How many times are you going to watch that?
Their lineup is terrible. Like, as bad as 5 through 9 is, that they got LeMahieu, Glaber, Stanton, and
Bader batted fourth today.
And Bader batted fourth.
Bader-
That was the
Bader
first
batted
4 today.
fourth.
I mean, it's pathetic.
It's the worst lineup in baseball.
No.
It's bad. Look at the averages when you get a second.
The-
Volpe was batting 5th the other night. He was batting 210, 5th.
To consistently throw out a lineup at 1 o'clock each day or whatever time it comes out, that's never the same. It hurts to look at it, knowing that these lineups are based on math equations concocted in some laboratory instead of baseball, a sport, a tough guy sport. And geez, I would almost be able to live with the fact that our lineup sucks and be like, man, we got to do something. We got to make a switch. You switch the 6 guy and the 2 guy, and maybe you get a little life, or you get a new lead off. Remember, it used to be a big deal whether Jeter was leading off
Yeah.
or hitting second, this and that. Why does it have to do?
But now you don't even know what to switch because it's different every day anyway, right?
It's based on night or day, lefty righty, weather, all these stupid matchups. I mean, come on,
Load
man.
management day. Bader couldn't play the first game of the doubleheader the other night because what's he played 10 games for us this year?
None of them gonna play. Stanton could have played the
Stanton
first
couldn't
one.
play. Oh, did you?
Can't stay on his feet for 8 at bats. Got to get him off.
The
his feet.
pre-game of the second game, Angry Jay. I know you're a yes guy too. Flaherty couldn't believe Stanton was playing in left field because it had rained all day in St. Louis.
Oh, my
This is
God.
so it's just the whole
On wet
machine. The
grass?
whole
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, they feed him
is-
that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
He jogged down the first couple times today. Took a right hand turn back to the dugout. Get him off his
Bobby
feet.
Mack's guy, but the tide has turned.
My
I think
guy?
we've finally convinced him that it's just not going to work
Can't
out.
I can't believe he doesn't get killed. Like he hits home runs in the playoffs, which is he's been terrific in the playoffs. He just misses 90% of the game. I hate him. Like I physically hate. Every time I see him, I want to throw up.
Did you see that one swing he took in Oakland?
Yeah,
It was like
Oh, he corkscrewed himself. It
Yeah.
was like a cartoon.
you don't see major leaguers often
It's
do
like-
that.
What was it, like Bugs Bunny or something? Like corkscrewing into the dirt.
Big
hard to
G,
watch.
Big G.
stealing money for years now.
That being said, just Loddy, you touched on this with the game you were watching today, non-Yankee game, which you don't do often, right?
No, I don't. I was watching MLB before we started, and it was Seattle and Tampa. What an entertaining game. Doubles in the gap. Guys making incredible plays in the field, stolen bases, hit and run, contact at the plate.
Clutch hits.
Like guys that just look like professional athletes having fun, entertaining the crowd. And then we watched the Yankees get 3 hits today against Monty. It was so predictable. Didn't you saw it coming, right?
Yep, Frank Viola.
Anyway, the Dela Cruz kid, I mean, watching him run just round a base for me is like, man, that's good. Look, that's cool. And I wish the Pirates shortstop was healthy because we'd have 2 6'7" infielders here that, can play baseball. But just picture him rounding the base and heading to the next one with a full head of steam. Besides Volpe, who's just like a little, mosquito, right? A little bug, but we don't have that guy. No. At least Bernie used to like gallop around the bases.
You know who
Jeter
we had,
would go
Bobby
hard
Mack?
all the time.
Deion Sanders inside the park home run.
Bo Jackson missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time I can. Well, Henderson.
Well, how about
obviously,
Bernie with his pop-up slide? I mean, Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie was fun to watch run. Definitely. Yeah, we don't have a guy like that. No. I mean, what happened to Volpe? Like, he's finally getting on base. He doesn't even steal bases anymore. Did they tell him to stop stealing? Because he had 13 the first month and a half. Now he's got 15, I think,
He got
right?
base 13 times the first month and a half.
Yeah, right.
How about Girardi cooking the third on that triple in '96, though? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not fun.
Glaber? What does it take for Glaber to hit a triple? All 3 outfielders should run into each other? And the first baseman to run out and get it?
They got a 230 team batting average. With an incredible bullpen and a ace in his prime. Like you said, we don't need any more pitching. We just can't get on base.
And Donaldson's so
They're
bad,
unlikable.
bad,
Bobby Mack. Unlikable.
awful, unlikable. It almost seems like in a sci-fi kind of way that he's like a plant from the Red Sox nation or whatever. Where like, remember when they found out Darth Vader was like actually Luke's father or whatever? I think if you unzip Donaldson's face, like Kevin Millar would be in there or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like he can't be this bad, and we can't pay him this much money, and we can't continue to play him. And then when he finally hits a home run, not play him. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
something's
what
got to
Angry Jay
give.
said,
It's
yeah.
like it's not real. It's like some sort of fiction.
The best thing for Stan is Donaldson's on the team now. He gets all the abuse because he stinks. Stan's supposed to be an MVP. Guy never plays. He does. He stinks.
You're right. Hicks insulated a lot of guys when he
Yeah.
was there. Now Donaldson's doing it, and yeah, Stanton's hoping they don't get rid of him, right?
And the money in the Steinbrenner family, I'm sick of hearing it. This is 15 years, since we won one, but even longer than that now with the excuses and the injuries. Are we really going to stand behind the story we're just the unluckiest team in terms of health? Like, we're unlucky? It's not how we manage them. It's not our healthcare professionals. I mean, Monahan and those guys, they knew exactly what they were doing. He took his John Deere tractor on when they retired him, and he took off, dude. You don't see this guy anymore. Who was the other one with the Irish name? His assistant?
The white-haired guy, yeah. I don't know.
What was his name, dude? He retired too.
They used to spray that stuff on an injury, and you
Oh,
were
get
all
back
set,
out.
right?
Yeah, cold
Whatever
spray.
it was, the cold spray.
Yeah.
You were good.
Get back out there.
Jeter broke his leg during the
Opening
playoffs.
day.
No, the
Oh,
playoffs.
remember that against the Indians or
Yeah,
White Sox?
or I think it was Detroit.
Yeah.
But
Detroit. Yeah.
guy didn't even want to come off the field. They had to physically carry him off.
He separated his shoulder against Toronto.
Against Toronto.
on
yeah.
the opening day.
Play
Sliding into
out
third?
third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said he All-Star break, possibly the whole year. Mid-May.
It's gonna be May.
Gonna be May?
Mid-May, he was back.
The captain.
Jeez. Well, it's going well then. Cash is
Judge ran into an outfield wall. And
hot.
physically dead.
Boone's hot.
He can't even throw the baseball yet.
It-
He's not coming
uh,
back. I'm telling
no,
you.
he's not.
He's just not coming back.
And that home run record's gone too, I think. From last year.
Well, Tony's got 31 home runs.
And they're going to put so much heat on the front office that they might go figure out a way to get this guy.
Who?
Then-
Otani? Nah, no shot.
No, because they got the built-in excuse that
With the
Judge is
leg-
hurt. Yeah, if he was healthy, we would have been fine. But
Can you imagine if Otani was a Yankee? He'd be on the pitch count in September.
If he was on a
Can't go
90s Yankees,
60.
though, he might hit 75 home runs.
Good point. That's fair.
So anyway, they're so hot. They're all so freaking hot.
You want some Yankee trivia?
yeah,
So instead of listening to us bitch about the Yankees, saw this today. 3 Yankee starters have started the All-Star game since 1970. Can you name who they are?
Starting
3 Yankees
pitchers?
have been starting pitchers in that
Cone?
MLB All-Star game since 1970.
Clemens,
Pettit.
you're not going to say yes or no?
Pettit.
Wait, you're just gonna name every 3? Like we're just gonna.
I'm going to.
Everybody that's ever
saying guys I
pitched.
pictured in the All-Star game.
All right, Clemens is correct.
Clemens, CC Pettit.
Clemens is correct.
Gator?
Negative. I guess Gator too. That was the one I got wrong.
Catfish Hunter.
David Wells.
David Wells, 1998.
Get out of here.
Clemens was 2001.
And there's one more.
Yep.
Okay.
CC, not CC.
70, you said, right? Since 70?
Yep.
The Knuckle?
I don't know who the knuckle is.
Musina.
No.
Jimmy Key.
Through the knuckle curve.
I was going to say
Key,
Jimmy Key in
1994.
94. Yeah.
I'm
Nicely
gonna
done.
I'm gonna piggyback on that with another trivia question. Which one of those 3 guys had the lowest mile per hour fastball?
Jimmy Key.
Yeah, no doubt.
James Key.
What a crafty pitcher. That day's dead too.
In and out, up and down.
Good question, Jay.
You want
like
another
it.
Major League Baseball question? Sure. Just pitchers? Has nothing. It's not the Yankees. Saw this the other day. There's been 2 Major League pitchers to strike out 300 guys in their first 35 career starts. So I'll say it again. There's been 2 Major League pitchers to strike out 300 guys in their first 35 career starts.
Doc.
I'll give you a hint. One is active and one is not active. And you just got the in it.
Doc.
Doc is one.
Doc Gooden.
One more time. Question.
One is still active.
2 guys who have struck out 300 batters in their first 35 career starts. And Loddy knocked the first one out of the park already.
How about
Kershaw.
Verlander?
Negative on both.
Your guy.
Otani.
Negative.
Your guy Scherzer.
No.
Chris Sale.
No. Good guess.
Need a hint. Can't do it all day.
No, you don't need it. You don't need a hint. He's a stud right now for probably the best team in baseball.
Oh, Atlanta.
Yep.
Strider.
Yep. Spencer Strider.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Jeez. Hey, the guy from LSU. With the mustache.
They all had mustaches.
No, you know what
starter?
I'm talking
Pitcher?
about. Yeah.
Skeens.
Can you guys root for that guy?
Oh, no. I hate his stupid comment.
I work harder than
He's-
you. I work
yeah,
harder than you. I work
yeah.
harder than you. He's got $1 million arm though. I tell you that much.
Yes, he does.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he's got some of that old school baseball character, which the Yankees lack, but he's tough to watch.
His teammates, they're going to go 1-2. The 2 LSU guys. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. What do you think?
I have no idea. But
I think one's
when
a
did they move
shortstop.
the MLB draft to July? Wasn't it
I
always
think they
the
wanted
first
to
week
do
of
it
June?
around the All-Star break stuff.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that like?
It used to be by now. It
Yeah,
used
it was
to be
the
in
first
June,
week
right?
of June. It used to be the first week of June. When
Right, right,
when
right.
did they do the? Is this the
I
first
think this is
year?
the
or
first year.
second? All right.
Yeah.
I remember, because high school kids were getting drafted. I remember talking to them like graduation.
While they were
night or
graduating,
just
right.
around that time.
I got to go back to the Yanks for 1 second. What do you think that clubhouse is like after today? Like, what's it like in there?
Just hop on the plane. That's it.
Booney's okay with it.
I mean, do they have
Everybody's-
refreshments and lunch
Ice cream,
and snacks
ice
in
cream,
there?
yeah.
Booney's leading the majors in ejections. See that?
Yeah, got tossed again today.
Nice. Stay hot.
It's not really working for him. That like
Mike Trout's still overrated, by the way.
you're stupid.
1 home run since we talked last, by the way. 1 home run.
I can't take it anymore. Let's talk some hoops.
The 3-time MVP is overrated.
Let's talk hoops. NBA free agency is kind of entertaining. Kyrie, bit of a surprise to you guys or no? I mean, I thought he might, try to jump on a LeBron team or form some other kind of super team. Didn't seem like him and Luka gelled.
He only gets maximum contract if he signs with the team that he's on. That's why he signed. He's not going to Lakers for, taking a
3 for
huge
130?
discount. Yeah, he's not taking it.
Is it odd that Van Fleet's making more than Kyrie?
Well, he's making the same amount of money, right?
A little
He's
more.
making $40 million.
$4 million a year. More.
I mean, who would you rather have, honestly?
And Kyrie's,
Van Fleet.
Kyrie's better. Kyrie's a better.
that wasn't the
It's not-
question.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't the question.
I'd rather have Kyrie. Van Fleet's never won anything. He's never
Oh, my God.
Kyrie hardly plays now.
How about the
He's a
guy from
Yankee.
Memphis got $40-something million a year too, right?
Yeah, Desmond Bain.
Come on.
I
He's-
didn't see
he's
that
getting-
coming for that
yeah.
much, though.
How about the other guy, the troublemaker from Memphis? I mean, I
4
thought they were going to
4
ride him out
years?
of the league. He got a nice deal.
4 for 80.
Yeah. Who's the best signing so far? For the value. Best value so far.
Westbrook?
I was just going to say, I hate Russell Westbrook, but 2 years for $8 million? Dude, he carried them in the play. They didn't win, but he was amazing in the playoffs.
He's
And I can't stand him. He's one top, at least 5 players in the NBA. That was a great deal.
no.
Derrick Rose, 2 years for 6.7 for Memphis.
Well, that was to take care of Ja, though. To mentor
I'm all right
him,
with
yeah.
the Van Fleet one. I mean, he's going to Houston. They have no leaders. They got a bunch of young talent. Like, I'm not saying it's a discount with $40 million a year.
It
I
might
mean,
be kind of fun to watch even
Yeah,
this year.
but
Yeah.
like he plays his rear end off.
Gun to your head. Does Pat Bev make it a whole season with the Sixers?
Not if Harden's there.
Yeah, he might.
Think Harden's going to stay there?
Yeah, I do think.
Do you think he's going to stay?
No, Harden won't be on the Sixers. Beverly will stay with the Sixers.
And where's Dame going to be? Miami?
Oh, God, Miami, because guys get to choose where they want to play now. It's so
Heat culture, though. Heat culture.
Well, Portland.
Get all the guys that come to 80
ridiculous.
degree Miami.
Is Max Struss still part of Heat culture or
Nope,
no?
he's
No,
gone.
in Cleveland.
I know, but are you still allowed to be part of Heat culture?
No.
He played there.
That guy's making, what, 4 for 60 something?
Yeah.
Not terrible.
I said the NBA salary terrible.
How about Draymond? Anybody surprised about Draymond?
No, I think they have to run it. You have to run it back. They're on their last leg, so.
So
why
you
not?
think he just did the Bernie Williams is going to the Red Sox thing about him going to play with his best buddy now? And how the heck is that his best buddy? They've had these wars against each other.
I just think he wanted 3 more years. I mean, I think that's what Draymond wanted. He got $100 million instead of, what was he going to make, 28, 27? Got $100 million. Look at Jeremy Grant making $34 million a year.
Jeremy Grant's pretty good.
But $34 million. I agree. I think he's solid, but
But that's what it is now. That's what they get paid. Like people were flipping out about Jalen Brown's going to sign a supermax.
Jeremy Grant's making more than Chris Middleton. Like
I was just going to say Middleton. What do you think of that one? Is he a top 20?
Grant's making
No.
$10 million more a year than him.
He's made for that team, but he's not a top 20 player.
I know he can stroke it and when he's hot. It's
hurt a lot,
Pretty
too.
cool. Is it right now? Gun to your head, him or Kuzma on your team?
Kuzma.
Middleton. He's a tough guy.
I'll take Middleton, too. But, again, he doesn't. Although Kuzma's. They're always hurt, all these guys. So
Anyone surprised? Not Reeves going back to the Lakers. I thought that was a no-brainer. But
There you go.
But Russell?
There's your best contract. They signed him for
Reeves?
4 years.
Yeah, that was
56.
reasonable money.
Yeah.
He could have made more, I think, right? If he
Yeah.
wanted to go somewhere else.
You didn't
there you
like
go.
the DiVincenzo deal?
I actually do like it. Your boy Obi never got treated
Yeah,
well
it
in
was-
New York.
He didn't, and I hope he goes to Indiana and they let him get up and down the floor. He was just never a Tibbs guy, and when Randall made All NBA and they started building their team around him, that was it. But now they're building a team around Brunson. Brunson wanted Hart. And Brunson wanted this guy.
Villanova.
They got them all. They got them all.
Not all of them.
They got how many guards though? How many more guards do they need? Quickly.
That's
McBride,
the NBA, though.
Stevenson.
What do you want, a post
And
player?
none of them can shoot.
Your boy RJ can.
RJ's gonna be fine.
Oh, listen to you. You're so up and down. on
Okay,
RJ.
you never said where's Harden going? Where is he going to be?
Wherever he starts crying, he wants to go to.
Think he goes back down to Houston?
Fat loser.
They keep loading up on guards. I mean, they draft guards. They got Van Fleet.
He's a fat loser. Why would you want him on your team?
I wouldn't, but somebody's going to want him.
Let's not name call. How about
Great defender.
he goes to the Lakers?
That'd be awesome.
I would love that too.
That'd fit in the great. Him and LeBron just dribbling the crap out of the ball. AD would.
Anthony Davis would go crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
How about the guy
fall down
OKC
and-
just signed from overseas? It was a low-key Woj bomb yesterday or today.
Yeah, EuroLeague MVP or
I
something.
mean, seriously, they got some young studs. And SGA, nothing to sneeze about. I mean,
so
it's like
good.
ridiculous, right?
they just
And
got
then
Victor Oladipo
Chet-
back.
Victor,
yeah, with his torn ACL.
man.
Who's the other guy?
That
Right
could
there?
be fun.
Giddy, right? Josh Giddy.
They got old Chet there, who hasn't played that game yet either, from Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Wembanyama 1.2.
Holmgren. All right, enough of that stuff. No, I had one more guy.
You guys see did you see all the new? I know we talked about it before, but all the new NBA rules, the minimum games, the 65 games. You got to play 65 games to get first team NBA,
Oh,
second
for
team
the postseason
NBA,
recognition. Yeah.
for any of those awards now. But you see how it would have affected all these things? Because I mean, Angry, you talked about how Jaylen Brown's eligible for that huge contract. All these guys, it could cost them a lot of money to not play these amount of
65
games.
Yeah.
But now they're talking about what are they going to do? They're going to put them in for 1 minute and get them out of the game, and that counts as a game played. Put them in for one play, get them out, just so they can make that play.
If they make that mockery of professional
A couple
sports,
of
for
guys
those
have already
salaries,
done that.
They
Give
said
me a-
if you went
give
back
me
to
a freaking
2012, one player in the first team All NBA would play enough games to make All NBA. I don't know who the one player was.
2012.
2012. LeBron didn't play enough. Kobe didn't play enough. Chris Paul didn't play enough. Dwight Howard didn't play enough. None of those four out of 5 first team wouldn't have made it.
I'm sure there's a stipulation for injury and asterisks and all that.
Zero stip. You'd
Did the
have to be
union
on the
have-
court for
Did
65
the union
games.
Oh,
have
I
to agree
kinda
to that?
like it then.
Yeah.
I
They
like
agreed
it
to
too.
They
65.
agreed to that. Interesting.
Well, honestly, if you're not healthy for 65 out of what
82.
82 games,
Well, it could be different with this horrible midseason tournament, which is just a joke of a thing they're doing in the NBA.
tell me how
But
that's gonna work.
did you see the rules for that? The midseason tournament? It's absolutely terrible. I forget how many teams are pulling in, but now they said teams can play anywhere between 81 and 84 games now. So there could be more games before the midseason tournament. What do you get out of it?
When's that going to start?
Each player on the winning team gets $500,000. That's what they get out of it. Whether you play a minute or you're
That's terrific. Like if it was 1955, the guys didn't have to work in the summer, but they're making 40,
I
50
agree.
million a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I agree 100% with
What?
Does Victor make first team All NBA? I mean, any All NBA team next year? You know my opinion, but you guys.
Yeah, he'll
love
make
the
all
guy.
rookie.
I mean, a real team.
you. You think he's going to be a top 15 player next year?
No.
No.
Is that what you're asking?
I don't
Top
see it.
15?
No, not.
I don't
no.
see. You, why you do?
No, I think he's awful. I don't think he's ever.
Oh, you
gonna
think
make
he's
one, but
awful?
Well, you can't say he's
That's strong.
awful.
That's
I think he's
strong.
going to be bad.
You think it's the same guy who
Godfather.
thinks Mike Trout
Where's
stinks.
Zion?
Similar career similar games played, Commish, I think, than Zion.
Oh my god.
Don Father.
Oh my god. This
Bust.
guy's
I know we already touched on this, but
Bust.
why?
Bust.
Why?
First of all, the guy could average 18 and 12, and he'd be considered a bust,
I don't
which isn't fair to
believe that.
him. You don't believe that'd be considered a bust?
No, unfortunately he's gonna have to win multiple titles.
And will he?
If he wins one title, people will say like it's not good enough for the amount of
I don't
stuff.
buy that.
Which is not fair. But that's, I mean, if you tell me he's going to be LaRue Martin, who was the first pick like 1971, who nobody knows, like, nah, I'm not going there. He's going to have a better career than Kwame Brown. That's probably another guy who's considered a big bust, being the first overall pick.
Greg Oden. He's Greg Oden like. Greg Oden light is what he is.
No chance.
In terms of his game or
In
his?
terms of how many games he's going to play, he's going to snap an ankle like Chet Holmgren, and that's it. He's gonna
I
play.
mean, if you're right
This
Good
guy's-
for
this
you,
guy's
man.
great.
I know AJ doesn't like that. You
I don't
know, we
even
already
wanna
talked
see
about it.
that.
This guy's great.
I want him to play. I want to see
Sounds
the
like
guy.
it. Sounds like it.
I don't like you're
I
rooting
just don't
for
think
him.
he's going to be.
Excel.
I don't want to see Chet Holmgren play. I can't stand him. But
Angry
I want to see
Donfather?
Victor play.
Angry
What's
Donfather?
wrong with this guy? It's the holiday weekend.
By the way, who's the last player to make all rookie team? I mean, all NBA first team as a rookie.
We just transition right into a trivia after all
Yeah,
that
we're talking
hatred.
about first team.
All right, repeat the question.
Larry Bird. I don't know.
The last rookie to make all first team NBA.
All first team.
First team. There's been 2 since 1980, since we use 80 as our cutoff for a lot of our trivia.
Okay.
And by the way, Angry got one of the 2. Pretty impressive. Yeah. But there's one more since then.
LB was one.
He was, yep.
Okay. Shaq.
No, sir. Does AJ know? Shout it out, AJ, if you know.
Kobe?
No, he didn't play.
I didn't play a lot. Freshman or rookie.
He's a big man. Okay.
Dwight Howard.
Patrick Ewing.
Tim Duncan. I was going to say seeing team as Victor. That would have been a little obvious. You had a choice.
I
You
was
know.
gonna say Bill
1980,
Cartwright.
1980. I was immediately going to the Llewellyn Center until you said 1980. I
Wasn't
was like, well,
wasn't Bill Cartwright? You want to double check it?
what school?
San Fran.
Nice.
Got picked by the Knicks.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I know. What am I gonna do? God, I suck.
Say number?
25.
Cartwright, 25. Remember his free throw? How the heck did that thing go in?
He wasn't a bad shooter though.
No, but he had the thing
Yeah,
that
over his
it
head,
frustrated me was he had the beard and then a little gray spot in the middle of his beard on the
Soul
bottom.
patch, I think
What
it's
the hell
called.
is wrong with him?
Soul patch, is that what they call it?
Bill Cartwright.
All right, we're moving into a different segment. This segment is new, and it's called the God Snake Draft. You get to play God and go put your influence on any play or any instance, any moment in sports that's important to you, or just you would have loved to seen a different outcome. Could be one of your teams or not. In fairness, let's draw straws here to see who goes first. All right, I'll go first. And
Shocking.
all right, Dwight Clark made a play one time. I think it's called the Dwight Clark play.
Something like that.
Don't say it.
I won't say it.
Did he play?
January 10th, 1982. Niners trailing in a playoff in a conference championship, right? And down by 6 or so, third down. We got all the boys chasing him. We got Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, Randy White, Hegman. And what does Montana do? He rolls out, and this is probably what one of the plays where people still say he's the GOAT over Brady. He rolls out on all those guys and lofts one high into the corner where only his guy can get it. And the
Phenomenal throw.
that's what I'm talking about. The original posterized person
Yep.
is Everson Walls, who was our guy in the secondary making lots of pickoffs. But if I could go down and change one play, can I get Too Tall or Harvey to get up another foot or two and swat that sucker down
Just
and at
tip
least
that
live on
thing.
4th and 3? Can we at least live on 4th and 3?
That was the end of a dynasty and the beginning of one.
Speaking of which, Dwight Clark, happily for me, ended his NFL days in the Browns front office in the early 2000s, I
Did an
think.
awful job. Yeah.
So at least he helped screw up the Browns. You know what I mean?
Picked Couch. Number one, I think he was definitely the GM then. Man.
Loddy, you're up.
Listen, this was hard for me because how much heartache do I get from my fandom as a Nick and a Brown guy? But I went. The first thing that always comes to my head is 2004, Game 4, ALCS at the Fen, and it's a combination play, but Yanks up 1 in the 9th, and you walk Millar to start the inning, Mo. I mean, you just can't do that. And then Dave Roberts steals second base, and the rivalry was never the same. You can actually say besides 2009, the Yankees were never the same. Boston was never the same because they took off and won multiple championships in the next 15, 20 years. So that's the play for me that I'd like to change.
I'll jump on one. Speaking of dynasties, the late '90 Yankees, early 2000s, one had won 4 out of 5. The one year they came back against Oakland, they thought they were done. When they were playing Arizona,
Oh my God.
and they got Randy Johnson and Schilling just mowed them down. Like literally, they started 5 out of 7 games. They were like, I just thought they had like no chance, and all of a sudden they're in Game 7 and they have a lead, and like I don't know how. That's why I think changing gear, like Golden State should keep their stuff together. You know, like let them. Like I think the Yankees should have brought all those guys back again.
Like
you
the
know?
Celtics did, right?
Yeah,
With
like let
Bird
you know.
and McHale and those guys.
But Louis Gonzalez's knuckle job flair. If he wasn't on steroids, you probably wouldn't even went that far.
That was a seed.
I thought you were going to talk about the bunt or Womack. Or
Well, I mean,
what-
all of those things. Like Mo hit. Who did he hit? You remember? Grace got a single.
Grace got a single, and then
Counsell?
they
And
they
the-
botched the bunt because
Yeah,
Mo
he-
went to second base
he
and
threw in the center,
gave
but then-
Jeter a medicine ball.
Yeah, but then he jumped on the next bunt and he threw it to
Brocious.
Brocious, and if Brocious actually had thrown it the first, they would have had a double play. But he was just happy with the out.
Well, speaking of that,
That was
with
one of mine,
out,
Angry
Jay,
Jay,
how,
yep.
about if you could have done the God Snake draft, just push Jeter, and you can't do this because it's a baseball game, you got to play it straight up. What if we just pushed Jeter back to regular depth?
Yeah,
That ball
no, he
went 2
catches
feet
it.
to
Yeah,
the outfield.
yeah, I barely made the grass. Yeah,
Angry Jay, good memory because it was first and second, 1 out, and I
Oh.
think it was
Tony Womack involved in
the
that?
Womack
no, it was
double.
first and second,
He hit
no
a
outs,
double,
and I
yeah.
think Jay Bell bunted right back to Mo,
And he
got threw it to Brocious, and Bell was about halfway down the line.
Yeah, he's out by. Yeah, if he throws it, he just caught it.
But Kamish, you're right. Womack hit the double down the right field line, and
So I think
Then he had a guy, didn't he? After the double Womack, and that loaded the bases, and they brought the infield in,
then they brought it in.
and then Gonzalez hit the ball.
But if we just catch that one with 2 outs, I would live with that. Let's go play extras, right? We
Yep.
get the next guy out.
But like they got physically like the 3 games they lost, other than Game 7, they just got
they got
demolished.
whacked. They got whacked.
Like Pettit
That-
was
that
giving up bombs.
sucks.
They had.
You're right. We thought we were going to steal one, right?
Yeah,
So two guys on that Diamondbacks roster would be Yankee. I think just 2 would be Yankee opening day starters after that date.
but you guys remember where you were for all those. Like
yeah.
when
Yeah.
Tino hit the home run in Game 4.
John Pettit.
Tino hit the home run in Game
Oh, no,
4.
no. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was Johnny was Game 5. But when Tino hit the home run, it was the first time. Like I think I tried not to. I was like, they can't be like we can't lose. Like we're just not going to lose. These guys are unbelievable. Like I didn't even think that in like '98. I was like terrified that they would lose and stuff. They get to 2001. I was just like they'll figure it out. And then
the
the
guy-
next night we were at Johnny's wedding rehearsal, and I'm like, we're
Brocious
gonna
hit it,
lose.
right?
We're gonna lose to Bautista, and all of a sudden.
Brocious.
I was jumping into your brother's arms. So-
Remember the guy for Tino's that right before the
Yeah,
pitch,
he was
just goes
pointing
like
like
that,
that. He was
and like
pointing.
he hit it there.
yeah.
Bobby Mack. I was at that game.
You were at Game 4?
Game 4.
Oh, my God. That place was...
Yep.
I was on the first night of my honeymoon in Game 7.
Where you
I was
were
on a cruise ship.
That's right.
Yeah, first night on the honeymoon.
Did you have any idea they lost? It was before
No, I
cell
was
phones.
watching it.
Or you were watching?
I was
That
watching
boy.
the game.
That
I
boy.
had a good idea they lost.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's the end of the
sir.
honeymoon right there.
Oh.
Angry. That was a really good one because I can't believe I didn't come up with that, and I have a Yankee one. On my mind.
It was
Godfather.
just those guys and what they had been through. I just like...
Oh, I had a trivia question. Which 2 Diamondbacks would be opening day starters for the Yanks at some point after that game?
Randy Johnson.
1.
Not Randy Choate. Remember that guy?
I do.
He didn't start though. He was
No.
now he's with
terrible.
Greg Swindell. I don't know who off.
How about the
infielder.
Oh, I thought you meant pitcher.
Womack
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
for about 40 games, and then they brought
Yeah.
up Cano. What do you got, Don Father?
I guess it's a little cliche, but it's got to be Game 6 of the '86
Yeah,
World
don't blame
Series. I wish I could. I wish I could get a glove on the ground.
What a great night.
Wish I can get that glove on the ground from Buckner.
Thought like you just
that-
laid right in front of him.
As soon as they put the steamer in, you're like, oh, geez, this isn't going to end well. And it didn't end well. You know? I mean,
I'm not going to try to rub the pass ball was it a wild pitch? Just when
There's no way it could have been
Stanley
blocked.
to
That thing was
Gedman?
spiked,
Yeah.
dude.
was that is that on Gedman?
What, get
No shot. That was a. I think that was a wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stitch.
Yeah. Oh,
No
you thought it
way.
was? You thought it was
Yeah,
Getty?
remember it?
You thought it was Getty?
Bounced up. Yeah.
The game,
Getty.
but that tied
Getty
the
looked
game.
like a Pokemon character behind home plate.
What number was
Number
Gedman?
10.
That was-
Guy
that
was
was-
a legend.
Wait, no, that was Mitchell though, right? Kevin Mitchell, was
Mitchell,
on
yeah.
third, right? And he scored on the wild pitch.
Yeah.
Flash
That wasn't the
fastball.
only play, but that was the play. So that's the one play. I wouldn't think. By the way, it's not even like the Red Sox are guaranteed to win, but still, that just seemed.
Remember
almost
how they hits
painful.
that inning, like Carter and Mitchell? Like they didn't hit the ball hard at all that inning to get on base.
You got Clemens, Schiraldi, then you got Stanley. I mean, it was
Mitchell singled, Carter singled, or maybe it was vice versa. And then Ray Knight hit
Ray
the
Knight,
little
yeah.
flare,
Yep, to center.
wild pitch, dribbler down the line. Game 7.
That was mine. I don't need to say anything else about it.
That
It was,
one hurt.
that was it.
I think
I jumped up and down.
I
And
think
I
it was
just- I
divine
just think-
intervention. He missed it.
I think Gedman. I
I
think
did.
Gedman
I
gets
did.
away with it a little bit there.
Oh, I-
Doesn't get enough.
You think? Okay. I
Like
think
he's got to block that. Was
Getty.
like, come on, he's got to. We got. You guys got to watch it again.
Stapleton should have been at first, right, Donfather?
Commish.
All right, so my number 1 was Game 4 as well, Loddy. But my number 2 is 1990 East Regional Tournament Final, UConn Duke. Right, UConn's up 79-78 in
Great call.
overtime. Bobby Hurley throws a pass that Tate George nearly catches, dribbles it out of bounds, and Calhoun said, "I thought he was going to catch it and dribble all the way to the Final Four."
I know.
So for me, that was like
I
that
got
would
the
have
chills thinking about
and
that.
that would have changed a lot. I think. I mean, obviously we've gone into great success, or they've gone into great success, but
Do you remember heckling? Do you remember me heckling Tate George
Yes, I do.
in the streets of Harvard?
Yes, I
a couple
do.
years later?
how about that? A couple
Yes.
years later?
Nice catch.
But that to me was like a moment like they could
Great
have been in
one.
the Final Four that year,
Yeah.
and who knows what happens? 9 years later, really, is when they got in the Final Four, right?
That literally went right through his hands.
Yeah.
And then maybe guard the guy taking the ball out of bounds on the sideline.
There's another thing. If he doesn't like totally whiff on it, if he just like kind of like uses like
Bats it.
feels it like
See,
Jason
bats it.
Giambi fielded a ground ball off his forearms, like the ball stays in play and the 2 seconds run out and they
Would
make
you take Giambi right now?
the hit. Yeah, yeah,
You bet you would. Commish.
that's a nice call there. That's a good one.
Do you remember the classic coach quote by Calhoun shortly after that game? It was classic about it has been his dream and always will be to coach in the Final Four, but he wouldn't give up 40 Final Fours for the privilege of coaching this basketball team. Dude, goosebumps.
That's strong.
That's goosebumps.
That captivated the whole state.
Of course, he was chewing gum at about 500 miles an hour with an accent you couldn't understand, but you're going, Morgan.
He went from the Sweet 16 jumping up and down on the
Oh, the Cliff
Tate
Ellis.
George. Yeah, what do you think? He's jumping up and down. He's like into losing that game.
Cliff Ellis got a nice handshake there. Commish, you get another one. We're just going to go 2 each.
All right, this one I'm going back to my high school sports covering days.
I know what it. Oh, okay.
No,
I thought you were going to
Dude,
say you
no.
wish you stepped on the bases.
no, this is another step in the basis story. It's even worse. 2011 Class LL championship game. 8th inning, Sal Romano doubles down the left field line. Matt Spurl comes home to score. Bedlam. Sellington celebrates. The catcher gets the ball and tags the kid out for missing home plate. Newington goes to win in extra innings. 3-2. No state championship for Sellington. One of the hardest things I ever had to cover. Trying to have to talk to the kid. There were photos afterwards that looked like he got the plate. There was rumors that the umpire told the catcher, go tag him. If the umpire doesn't make a call,
Right.
that's on the catcher to figure that out. But just a heartbreaking thing for the kid. Actually transferred out of Sellington after that year.
I know.
He moved to, I think, Atlanta.
Yeah,
maybe, or
out
something
of-
like
out
that.
of-
He had
out
come
of
from-
state, yeah.
He moved out
Really?
of state after that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me was just a heartbreak for a kid. Now that we're getting, our kids are getting older, you're starting to see them play
You wish
competitive high
that
school
would
sports.
never
And
happen, yeah.
imagine that could happen to a kid. It's just heartbreaking. So,
Commish, love to see your compassion in that one. And that was a terrible moment. And I know the home plate umpire a little bit because I've seen him in the youth basketball ranks. And he actually has the screenshot of the kid missing home plate on his phone. And he'll tell you about it as soon as you meet him.
well, when I was researching tonight, too, an old Patch story had photos from their photographers that they were claiming showed that he clearly hit the plate. But, I was at that game. I was in the press box at Muzzy. And you can't tell. You know what I mean? I think, Newington started walking off towards their dugout. I think the catcher might have come out of the dugout with the ball and tagged the
That's
kid
unbelievable.
in the middle of the pile of kids celebrating on Southington's side. So that just to me was like a game I'll never forget.
Commish, Is there any background, not to unpeel layers here, to why you picked
That would be my
missing the
number.
base?
I
story?
missed 3
So
out of 4 bases. I
it hit
home
home a little bit for
I
you.
hit home sophomore year against Chicago on a home run, would-be home run. And the umpire was nice enough to say I missed third, even though I knew I missed first, right?
So what did you do? Just cut right across the pitcher's mound? Like I don't understand. I mean, I don't know.
So 360 feet, right?
Yeah.
By the time I got done running, it was 320. I cut some corners on the bases. No, I got to run it out. I'm a sophomore in high school. I got to run it out. It was devastating.
great.
Here's the one thing I always remember about that too. My dad sat in the same place every game at the high school games in Thomaston, right down the first base line, off to the side in play. But our coach would say he's part of the ground rules because he's been there for so long. But when I hit the ball, I could see my dad jumping up and down. And I could see that in my eyes.
Boy.
So it was his fault I missed first. I was looking at him. Then when I knew I missed first, I'm like, why would I touch second? But you know what's even worse? You know how that game ended?
We lost 7-6.
We lost 7-6.
And
I
you-
was up at the plate with a guy on third.
And you lined
Went
us.
out.
You
and
lined
he
the
gave me
squeeze.
And I lined the squeeze, bumped back to the pitcher, and got doubled off third.
I remember that.
So the guy that hit a would-be home run the at
Bumped
bat
it.
before was asked to bunt.
That's what Coach Hunt said to me afterwards.
Okay.
He's like, I shouldn't ask you. One of the old guys used to follow us all the time and said, first question he asked me is, why would you make a guy who hit a home run bunt in the 7th inning? But yeah, that was a terrible time. But my dad took me out for ice cream afterward. And, you know,
Everything was better.
I was young enough.
Foster's?
I was young enough to not like. I remember I was devastated, of course, but even the newspaper took care of me. They called it a double, and then they said I was out for missing. But yeah, and it was actually that was Chapag, who was our big rival, and the hill was full of people.
Oh, boy.
You know, and I guess.
I'll never
I've
forget
had-
this. 'Cause Johnny's not a violent guy unless pressed, but he immediately bent over and like
After the game.
my best buddy. Like I'm watching him, his reaction. He just bends over and he has his hands on his knees, and he is pretty much inconsolable. And Chapag, you know, supposed to be this great tradition and class acts. The coach comes over to console him. Well, he happened to be the first person to touch
I
John,
still have to play after the bunt.
and yeah, all of a
Gotcha.
sudden. He reeled around with his elbow, and he missed knocking that guy in the next week by about a millimeter. And like I'm glad it didn't connect. Wink, wink.
So next week we'll share everyone else's most embarrassing moments of all time.
Well, you got a couple more out there too, though.
I think we all do.
Oh, definitely.
Well, not embarrassing, but you have a memorable trip around the bases. That's.
Oh, I do have.
Can we get into it?
No, not right now.
All right,
I
forget.
don't have an hour.
Father.
Number 2 is March 30th,
Oh, Johnny's other story has to do with number 2.
1987. Syracuse is beating Indiana
Bernie
73-72. Bernie Fine, yeah. I'm hurt from a lot of reasons. And gets down the court. Keith Smart hits the baseline jumper, and they beat Syracuse 74-73 to keep Bernie Fine from winning his first national championship. You postponed him. He got
What would
everybody.
you have liked to done?
He got
Block the
everybody.
shot?
He got everybody back later, but that year he had to push it off. He had to push it in for a little while.
So is in your God Snake draft, you wish somebody swatted it or you just clanked it or what?
I just wish I didn't care as long as he missed it.
You
I don't care what it
remember
was.
Derek Coleman's free throw before that?
Yeah, barely
Oh, my
grazed in front
God.
of the
They
rim.
were the worst free throw shooting team, that Syracuse team that I've ever seen.
Bobby Knight
That was-
fouled them on purpose.
That was a
And they
stud.
were talking about like, it's probably because the freshman sees his face on the big screen behind the
That's
backboard.
why
Yeah.
he was pooping himself. If
but-
you remember his face.
Angry Jay, he loved that game too when he watched it on VHS after getting home from the Debbie Gibson concert. Jay, you're up.
It was actually Billy Joel.
Whatever, same thing.
No.
I think it
Do
was
you-
Tiffany or Debbie Gibson. But
no,
go ahead.
It wasn't. You want to bring up concerts?
Yeah.
And a couple other things. Anyway, I'll keep one. I'll go a recent one. I just watched in February. Watched Jonathan Gannon's defense try to cost us a goddamn Super Bowl. It was like watching Skitter's gym play Raiders, and it was brutal. I can't get over it still. Like our offense was terrific. We put up 38 points in the goddamn Super Bowl, and Jonathan Gannon couldn't get one stop, and the Eagles should have a second Super Bowl. Still pisses me
he
off.
got promoted, right?
And he got a head coaching job. And he talks about how Eagle fans were unfair to him because he had the best defense in the league. He actually said that at his conference.
So what's your stop play? Like
I don't know. How about getting one goddamn stop in the Super Bowl? One time. Just make him punt one time and we're champions.
His voice is going up.
I just watched 3.5 hours of defense. There you go. We lost the Super Bowl. Does that work? Any play in the Super Bowl.
One stop is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Could they punt the ball one time?
One stop.
Yes.
Okay, Loddy, you're up.
I don't feel bad for you. 87 AFC Championship game.
Oh God.
87 was a tough year for the Pod.
87. Just listen to me for a second, all right? Kozar to Brennan, 50-yard bomb to put the Dogs up 20-13 with a little more than 5 minutes to go in the game. I'm watching it. I'm 13 years old, whatever, 14. I thought we were going to Super Bowl to play the Giants.
Oh, no way.
Browns kick it off. Denver muffs it. They end up recovering at their own 2. I'm like, there's no way we're not going to Super. They got to go 98 yards. Dink, dunk, Elway. The play that stands out to me, I think it was like 3rd and 18.
Steve Sewell.
It was 3rd and 18. We just needed a stop on 3rd and 18
One
around
time, baby.
around midfield. They had to score a touchdown. They're not trying to get in field goal range. Elway to Mark Jackson for 20 yards. Once he caught that, I'm like, we're definitely going to overtime, and we did. And then Carlos nailed a field goal, short field goal, just inside the upright. But if they get that stop on 3rd and 18, even if he gets 10 yards, now you're 4th and 8. The dog pound's going nuts. And we just couldn't, to your point with the Eagles, we couldn't get a stop. He drove him right down the field, and the legend of John Elway was created that day.
I'm sorry about that, Loddy.
I thought I was going to cry during that minute, but I held it together, like just now. I'm talking about.
Well played.
Congratulations.
All right. As a youngster, I was a Laker fan. Showtime. My brother was a Laker fan. Got me into it. They were on every Sunday, so it was kind of cool. Sports Illustrated's when they came out on Thursdays. A lot of Laker stuff. Anyway, 1986, May 12th, playoffs. Western Conference Finals. The Rockets are putting up. The Rockets are like ahead in the series against the Lakers, but the Lakers were unbeatable. They were like the Lakers and Celtics. They were going to be in the finals like every year for like 7 years, it seemed like. And just need to win at home, hold serve, go back to Houston, get one, come back, win. Tie game with like before the point seconds came out, there was like literally like no time. If I could say a second, maybe a second. And they threw it to Ralph Sampson at the foul line, and blindly, and I mean blindly, he throws it over his head and shoulders. Dandruff time, without looking. And I'm like, we're going to overtime. It went in. And it wasn't the end of the Lakers, but who would the Rockets come on to play? The Celtics.
Yeah, the Lakers had no shot on that. It's a good thing they got eliminated.
Of course they didn't. But watching those Lakers-Celtic games was a treat as a sports fan. No matter what team you like, no matter what sports you like, it was the ultimate competition, and I would have just loved to see it that year and make it, how many years in a row? Would that have been 4 years?
God, that was it was like every year in the 80s, it seemed, yeah.
Jeez.
I remember that game, and they panned to Michael Cooper just laying on his back like at half court, just stunned, shocked when Sampson shot went in.
I loved Coop. We're going to stop God's Snake Draft right now and bring it back next time. We all had 2. But on the Michael Cooper thing, I just want to throw this out there. The whole Zach Edey and interior player Ben Timmie not getting drafted, somebody else not getting drafted, Sonogo not getting drafted. On that whole thing, I know they were talking at one point about making a 4-point shot. I gotta think they gotta take the 3-point shot further and go back to the Michael Cooper days when the line came like straight up. So on the sideline you got about 2 feet, and then make that sucker like an arc above that to maybe encourage throwing the ball in there.
I'm with it.
I agree. That corner three is too easy. I agree.
Yeah, they got
But
guys
it's-
just sitting there, locked and loaded. Yeah.
Well, the corner would have to pretty much stay the same because there's not a lot of space over there anyway. But as far as all these logo shots, I mean, that should be a 3 right now. The way these guys can hit threes, it's kind of like Otani. They should push the fence back 100 feet just for him.
Would they ever make the court wider?
I was thinking that because then you.
You know,
The teams,
They
would,
could
I
just-
agree. Teams would never allow it. It's a row of seating they can't.
They
have.
could just eliminate the corner 3. They could literally just make the 3-point line and
Right
kinda
to
like
the
where
sideline.
Yeah, go to like kind of where the coach's box is or down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a
instead
good
of-
idea.
I don't hate that.
I don't either.
So you're talking about like an arc going from like let's say the old hash marks.
Yes.
And I don't hate that. Guys,
how
you
it
know
was
what it's time
yeah.
for?
That's how it was at the old Bristol Boys Club. You couldn't get a corner 3 off. There was no space.
You played there?
A little bit.
You know what it's time for?
Who would you rather?
Who'd you rather? A lot of NBA talk tonight. Love the free agency and all this stuff. We want executive producer AJ Bennell in on this because I've got a few who'd you rathers, and the topic I picked was tandems. I have no problem with boy bands. You want to go there?
Not yet.
All right.
How about wristbands?
I'm gonna give tandems, and you tell me who was better, and like some of them are only together 2 or 3 years, some together double digits. Okay. We're gonna go this way. But my first one is Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce versus Larry Bird, Kevin McHale. Who is the better tandem?
Bird and McHale.
Why?
Well, Bird is an all-time great. Those two together, I just think we're better.
Okay.
I got to go Bird and McHale. More chips, better players. It's pretty easy, I think.
I'll agree with those guys. I go Bird and McHale. Paul Pierce is underrated in today's moronic youth who just hate him because he makes fun of LeBron James. He's the all-time leading scorer for the Celtics. But
Are you saying it's closer than?
not really, because the championships makes it. It was them and the Lakers were winning it every year. The Celtics had a nice run with Garnett. But they were on the back end.
So with Garnett,
I
and
love
Pierce
Garnett's like my second favorite Celtic of all time behind Bird. So,
versus Bird and McHale. All three of you guys are going Bird McHale first.
yeah.
Lottie Dottie, you like the potty?
Yeah, I got to go same. I base it on championships. So Bird and McHale.
Are we playing 2-on-2 or just historic context?
Whatever you want, whatever context you
I
want.
mean, I think Garnett would eat McHale's lunch. But I think Larry Bird's probably the most underrated player in the history of the NBA. I think he's one of the top 5 players without a doubt. So I'll take Bird and McHale.
I am gonna go the other way, guys. I'm gonna go Garnett and Pierce. I mean, you're talking about a fierce player. I love the highlights of Garnett as like a rookie, second year, third year at Minnesota. Like he was just a menace. He developed a jumper. Bird would probably get the best of Pierce. I think Garnett dominates McHale. And oh no, he's not falling for those pump fakes. Don't give me that Don't give me that look. All right.
Jay, I got a quick question for you. Who would be your third favorite Celtic of all time?
That's a good call.
I just think there's a lot.
There's so many.
Antoine Walker.
Nah, he was stiff.
I know.
No Bill Russell in there anywhere?
I mean, are we going from like
No, I'm saying
1980 on, like our era? It might be McHale, believe it or not. might be McHale. I loved Rondo too, but
I saw Rondo's last college game. That was against UConn. Philadelphia.
All right. Enough of that garbage.
There's
All right.
a lot of Celtic talk tonight.
I like
He's
it.
saying top 5 player of all time back here. I mean, jeez.
He's right.
You guys are
Kobe
killing
and Shaq, all Lakers here. Kobe and Shaq versus Magic Kareem.
Who's going first here?
Mr.
Kobe and Shaq.
Why?
Not close.
How is that not close?
Not close.
Is there a reason for it? Or?
Shaq's the most dominant player to ever play the game. Kobe is, in my opinion, no worse than the third best player to ever play the sport.
All right, so I'll jump in on
Bold.
this. I'll take
Bold.
Magic and Kareem, and I will say, as dominant of a force as Shaq was, Kareem was even better. He might be the most underrated player of all time, and I hated his guts. And you could buttress 6 titles, 6 MVPs, won a title with Milwaukee, the greatest college career of all time. Like it's not so like the greatest shot of all time. Like Shaq is not guarding him. Like nobody can guard him. Okay, I love Kobe is unbelievable, and as much as I dislike Magic, even he's the ultimate. He made teammates better, and there's not a lot of guys in the history of the sport actually who didn't have to score and made guys better. And I will agree with you with Kobe. Like again, I hate the Lakers. Like I hate all 4 guys. Respected the hell out of Kobe. He's one of the few guys who could actually win a game just by sheer will. But championships got to matter.
Totally. Here's my question. I grew up loving Magic Johnson. The first VHS I had was Magic Johnson Showtime, and I loved watching him pass, and I, tried to pattern myself as a 5'10", unathletic version of him.
Yep.
But as these all-time debates come out, I find myself wondering, every great player was a top X number player at a certain skill. And when I started to look at Magic Johnson, the only thing that I could measure was that winning quality
Passer,
that he
phenomenal passer.
But I mean, his assist-to-turnover ratio, terrible. I mean, he made great flashy passes, but he wasn't Stockton in terms of efficiency. So I think that when they talk about Magic versus Bird, I think Bird was more skilled than Magic at every skill on the floor.
Can I chime in
But
on that
Magic
for a
was
second?
winner. And I mean, how do you measure that?
AJ, here's the thing. Another thing with Magic is like his fancy passes were cool, and that's at a time where, that stuff wasn't really in just yet. But he didn't have to be fancy throwing it into the captain. You throw it into the captain, that's your possession. And if Michael Cooper's or Byron Scott's lucky enough to get it kicked out to him, maybe they get a 3-out. That's why they only took 3 or 4 a night. But you throw it into the captain. He was smart. You throw it into the cappy.
Cap.
Jeez.
I will go. I would say if Shaq and Kobe got along and stayed together longer, I might have a different viewpoint. But maybe it's just when I first started loving basketball in the 80s, and it was always the Cap and Magic. So I'm going to stay with them. But, again, if Shaq and Kobe could just learn to put their ego aside a little bit and stay together another 3, 4, 5 years, my answer might be a little bit different.
That's actually a great point. But, they're all, alpha guys. But the one thing Magic made guys do, like everybody loved him on his team, you can't really say that for Kobe, just the way he carried himself. It was kind of like Jordan. Not everybody on his team actually liked him, but he was just so damn good,
You ever hear them guys talk about his first game as a rookie?
Yeah,
They won it the buzzer, and Kareem and Magic's running around hugging everybody, and Kareem was like, "Rookie, calm down."
Charisma for the
Come
game.
on, man.
But he never did. He
He
never
did calm
Always
down.
played
You're
like
right.
a kid.
In any way.
The Magic, man, at the Felt Forum.
Is that everybody?
Him and
Do we all
Jack.
go?
We haven't gone, right? So I would say Showtime Lakers are so much fun to watch when you're a little kid, too. They seem larger than life, especially with the championships.
Boy band reference.
In the aftermath of Kobe dying, I really was able to take a step back and look at what a dog he was and how much he loved to win. So I did gain a lot of respect for him and Shaq. But I think the old-time Showtime is probably a little bit better.
I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Kobe and Shaq. Magic couldn't even score on Kobe. He couldn't even score. Kobe was so good on defense. I think that was so underrated. And he couldn't guard Kobe, and he couldn't score against Kobe. As much as I can't stand Kobe, I hate Kareem. By the way, he's my least favorite player in NBA history. But I got to go with the young guys. They all won championships. So
All right, highlight package. I'm going Shaq, Kobe. Best teammates, better tandem. I'm gonna go with the old timers. Keeping it simple. Flash was like a big deal every once in a while. Magic do one of those stupid passes, but bottom line is they're trying to beat you, and they don't have to tell you. They're just gonna beat you. I got to go with the old guard. Next one, not as sexy, but I kind of like the matchup. We're gonna go the doctor from University of Massachusetts, Julius Irving and Mo Cheeks versus Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson in Phoenix.
Well, again, I base
We watched this.
I base everything on titles. So
Everything?
yeah,
What's your NBA team?
that's why they stink.
All right.
They haven't
What's your
been in the
NFL
finals
team?
in 50 years. Browns have never been to a Super Bowl. I know. That's why I'm a disgruntled human being. I'm going doctor and cheeks because KJ and Barkley. What the heck they do?
That was a fun team to watch.
It might have been fun, but what they do?
So are we going Dr. J Sixers, Dr. J? Or are we talking
No. With Phoenix.
No, Doctor and Mo Cheeks with the
Doc.
Sixers. Yeah,
with the Sixers?
against Barkley and KJ.
I'll go KJ and Barkley. Cheeks and Dr. J won. Look at this, the ball's dropping like hailstones out here. It looks like the Yankee outfield. The Sixers, they won one title, but they had to go and get Moses Malone to get it, and he was the MVP that year. Doc with the Sixers was good, but it was kind of near the end of his career. It was kind of like seeing Ray Allen with the Celtics. It was like the back end, still pretty good, but he wasn't dominant. Mo Cheeks is definitely an underrated guy, but Barkley was with the Suns was the most dominant player out of those four guys.
Maybe in basketball behind Jordan. He was good.
Yeah, underrated career. Won MVP.
Was
the
Chambers
Suns.
on that team?
No. He was
Okay,
gone
so
with them,
we got KJ, Ainge, Barkley, Thunder Dan Marley. Who's the center?
Wasn't it
was it Mark West or
West.
something?
Mark West.
Did you
out
say
of
Marley
Villanova?
and the guy Dumas was on the team too?
Richard
right?
Dumas, yes.
Dumas
Yeah.
and
Kevin Johnson was a terrific
Yeah, he-
player for a few
Mayor of
years
Oakland.
too. Yeah.
A little ahead of his time,
Yeah.
Yeah, his dunk on Olajuwon may be my favorite sports highlight of all time.
That is a great dunk. One of my favorite is you remember when I don't know the girl's name was singing the national anthem in Portland and Mo Cheeks went out and started singing it for her.
Oh,
and it picked up.
unbelievable moment. Yeah.
It was actually pretty cool. Underrated. But I'll go Barkley. I'll go Barkley and KJ.
I'm going to go Barkley and KJ, too. Just remember watching them more and appreciating Charles for his toughness and KJ for his passing and his leadership. Both went on to interesting post-NBA careers, too.
That's
KJ
right.
was a mayor, and Barkley might be the best guy calling basketball or analyzing basketball right now.
Pretty good. So between Doc and Mo and Barkley and KJ, I got to go with Barkley and KJ. Doc, as great as he was, and a highlight reel and ahead of his time and giving youngsters something to aspire to with the above the rimness and agility and this and that. He really wasn't a good shooter. As great as he was, and Mo, tough guy, along with Andrew Toney in the backcourt, but Barkley was dominant at that point in his career, and KJ was electric. And I love that team.
Bobby Mack. Didn't we just talk a lot about Barkley? Maybe me and you recently. You guys think he was underrated? I don't think he was.
No, it's clowns like you who say you base it all on championships. This guy's a winner.
I'm saying as where would you put him in the top? Obviously, he was top 50. He got voted, but would you put him higher than that? I mean,
Nobody will. What I from the guys I seen, yeah. I mean,
there's things he can do at his size, 6'5", like get a rebound and go coast to coast.
I think he'd dominate right now.
Develop the 3-point shot later in his career.
Because right now he'd be so versatile with the three, and then the kind of the big guy post game.
Versatile with the threes. You're assuming he's going to learn to shoot.
No. He can make threes at Phoenix. He could shoot.
Barkley,
Out
he was a better shooter than people
Sheffy,
think.
you're out of your
Threes?
mind.
Yeah, he used to pull up and hit threes.
You think Trout's a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Alonzo's having a tough year?
Don Father, would you become the next? Easy. Would you become the next general manager of the Yankees, please? All right, we're moving on. That was a good one, I thought. Shaq and a player I like to call Flash. Anyone know who he is? Dwayne Wade is a rookie, right? Versus D. Wade, who came later on, and his buddy LeBron. Not in Cleveland, by the way, the Miami version. So we're talking Shaq and Flash versus D. Wade and LeBron. Both Miami Heat matchup.
Shaq was basically washed.
They won a ship. I'm just saying they won a
I know,
ship.
but I don't. Obviously, he
I
wasn't.
thought
there.
you base everything on you're confusing me.
But I mean,
Ambiguous. That's what he is.
LeBron and D Wade won some too, so I'm going them. I just think if Shaq was in his prime in Miami, might be a different argument, but he was not even close to the centerpiece of those teams, right?
Producer?
Didn't Shaq and D Wade create heat culture? They were the
Yeah,
originators of it.
yeah. They
Who
come
invited-
to Miami
Invited
and
this
hang out
guy
with
here tonight.
So I think D Wade is considered by a lot of people the third best shooting guard in NBA history, after Jordan and Kobe. And I think again, even though Shaq was a little past his prime, the two of them didn't have Chris Bosh and what they were able to do with the team they had around him versus what LeBron and D Wade did. I'll take Shaq and young D Wade all day.
That was Flash, by the way. Go ahead.
I'll go the second group there, LeBron and D Wade, as you're calling it.
Go ahead.
They,
Sure.
like AJ said, Wayne Wade is a little underrated, like all time. Like he might be a top 5 shooting guard of all time, and you got another guy that's supposed to be a top 5 player of all time. You said top 3. Might just a little bit of a stretch, but what are you gonna break them down right now? Our top 75. Jesus Christ. Well, we got a
You got Mitch Richmond ahead of him?
maybe Chris Mullen, but we got those guys were the two of the best players in NBA at the time. They had a 4-year run. You know, they didn't win not 5, not 6, they won 2, but they were
What Wade did to Varejao on a break.
yeah, he dunked the ball on him. That's terrific. Like what they don't get extra points for dunking on him. Like the team was the Miami teams they had there were terrific. They won didn't they win 28, 30 games in a row?
Yeah,
at one
hard to
point?
root for, but
Yeah. I mean, I hated
and Ray saved them too.
Them against San Antonio, was that one of the best finals of all time? When
Ray
when
saved
ended
them.
great Game 6, right?
In the
And
corner.
then San Antonio still had a chance with a minute to go at Game 7, I believe, too.
Yep.
That went right down to the wire.
And then-
Great games.
And then the guy bailed again.
Who? What are you saying?
That guy bailed and went back to Cleveland there.
Chump.
Oh, your boy.
And when Wade fouled him.
It's hard to ever say you'll pick LeBron for anything, but I think you have to go with LeBron and D Wade in this case.
I agree. LeBron was clearly the best player of the 4 that you just mentioned, and old Wade to Flash, he was still really good when he played with LeBron. I mean, he was dynamite. So I got to go with LeBron and Wade.
Yeah, just I'm not going with LeBron because I can't stand him. But that freshman D Wade was that rookie D Wade was something.
Yeah, but those guys were
Like,
in their
nobody
prime.
saw that coming.
The other two are in their prime.
Nobody saw that coming though. But you know who did? The big guy. The big guy saw it coming. He knew he'd get one with him, and I just love the way they handle business. All right, here we go. Pippen ain't easy, as you guys know, but Pippen and the GOAT 23 versus Duncan and Robinson.
Duncan Robinson?
Duncan and Robinson.
It's all about championships. You already know my answer.
Well, they got some.
Not as many as Pip and Jordan. Not even close.
Johnny,
Pippen and Jordan are all-time tandem in the NBA.
I had to put him against somebody. Jesus. I know, but I'm trying. I mean, the big fundamentals pretty.
You're
freaking
between a
good.
rock and a hard place, Mac. I got to go with Pippen Jordan, but
Magic
it's
on Team USA.
That would have been like a Magic, Kareem, Pip, and Jordan type of situation, right?
Yeah, but this guy's taking virtually guys over Magic and Kareem. Jeez. Angry.
I have to agree with that. I mean, they won 6 titles in 8 years, and Jordan didn't play in one of them, and he came back and played the last 10 games or 20 games in the 1 year.
Nick still couldn't win even when he wasn't playing. Freaking O.J. Simpson in '94 stole all our thunder.
I know. Next thing you know, Vernon Maxwell's making threes when the game was back on.
Starks, stay hot, Starks.
AJ.
Jordan and Pippen.
Me too. Sorry for that one, guys. I tried. This one might be closer. One of the times that LeBron and D Wade didn't win it was against Dirk and the Jet, Jason Terry. Those two, Dirk and JT, versus Giannis and Middleton.
That's a good
Don't
one.
have to break it down. Just pick it.
Giannis Middleton.
Same. Giannis Middleton.
I agree, but it's not as much as I would think. That's a good question. I like it.
I'll take Dirk and the Jet.
Me too. All day long, actually. Dirk, talk about underrated. Prolific.
Properly rated.
Prolific scorer. And the Jet had a nice little career, and I loved the way he was running around doing his Jet thing against my. And remember that they were mocking whoever was sick on the Mavs, Bosch and LeBron were walking out of the practice thing.
It was Nowitzki. It was Dirk. Yeah.
And then they beat him. See you guys. I stayed up late and watched all that stuff, all the interviews done.
Full disclosure, I also hate LeBron, but what he did to the Jet was bad. Real bad.
Relax.
I'll go Milwaukee. I'll take the Milwaukee guys there. Giannis, he's a force. He's a problem now. And as good as Dirk was good offensively, who the hell is he guarding? So,
Well, we can play zone now. But
well, I mean, it's not going to work against Giannis. He'll just run guys over and he goes to the foul line. So,
I don't know. I think he's got a little
zone sucks, by the way.
Waibanamba in him, or whatever. No, I think he's going to be a little bit of a possible bust going forward, just showing the fragility this year. Like, I don't know.
Because Kenny Lofton Jr. made him look like a third grader.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. This one tandem was together forever, and the other one was only a couple years.
Wait, Kenny, what?
Kenny Lofton Jr. They show those clips of Kenny Lofton Jr. playing against Wembanyama. He was backing him down and scoring over
Still
him.
talking about your
Kenny
boy?
Lofton Jr.?
Wembayama? Nobody cares.
That's my point.
Kenny
Hey,
Lofton also started.
Wembayama or
Is that our
Holmgren?
Kenny Lofton's
Holmgren,
kid?
go.
Is that the guy who played for the Indians? And
And the Yanks. He opening day started for the Yanks one year.
Started in major leagues too, I think.
All right, Stockton and Malone, an all-timer, right? Steph and Katie for 2 or 3 years. You got to get the length of the career.
You don't have to ask Loddy. You can skip him on this one.
It's all about titles.
Angry, who you taking?
I'll take the Golden State guys. As good as the mailman was, I mean, these two guys, I mean, scoring is incredible. Like Durant is probably a top 10 all-time offensive player, and Curry's probably going to end up being like he actually changed the game. Not for the good all the time either, because everybody thinks they can shoot 40-footers now, but offensively those guys are off the charts. And out of all those 4 guys, I think Stockton's my favorite guy, so it's not easy for me to say.
I'll take the Golden State guys too, and I think that Malone's my least favorite of the 4. Stockton's probably up there, but I think that Curry, what he did to the game, as much as it's bad for young players, I think if people knew his work ethic and the time he put into it, it's not by chance that he makes every shot he takes. And I think that we'd probably be better off with the Curry and Durant with Jordan and Pippen than the other 2.
Well, you'll leave that up to me as far as production. All right.
I would
Mick.
say KD and Steph, based on the fact that when we're older, not that we're not older right now, but we'll be able to look back on what we saw them doing offensively and be able to tell our kids and our grandkids about it. It's something different. Change the game, like I said, and something we'll remember forever.
Imagine if he stayed with Golden State. I know he
Be all about titles.
got injured and, ended up going to Brooklyn with why are you tapping him for? I saw that. He should have stayed with Golden State, no, KD?
Nobody couldn't get it wrong with Draymond. Nobody can.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it was.
Best
One of the
friends
things
now.
that's underrated is like how many games Malone and Stockton played. Like they didn't miss games ever. And Mailman is much. I said it. Curry and Durant scoring list, but Mailman's second. Well, he's third now on the all-time scoring list. So he scored.
All right, so I'm going to end this one with staying. I'm going with the old guard because as much as you guys say that these other guys changed the game, those guys changed the game. A pick and roll is isolation and pick and roll are probably like the 2 answers late in shot clock, and like even high schools are going to pick and roll and stuff like that, now. And now they're going to have shot clock. That's going to be a big deal, and I'm not a huge fan of it because it's got to be worked on so much to make it right. And then the illegal screen and bringing another defender to the ball and like all that stuff. They didn't care about that, man. They had that junk perfected, and I'll take them all day long over a lot of tandems.
They might have won the title too if they just
Didn't have to play Jordan.
yes.
And if they called the push off on
agree.
Byron Russell,
I wasn't a push off.
get out of. And I love Jordan. Get out of here.
Watching KD try to guard Malone would be like watching Wembanyama try to guard Kenny Lofton Jr. Same thing.
All right, you guys are going to laugh at this one then because I'm talking more 3-point line and in, medium rangers versus different. But Isaiah and Dumars, the 90s versus the Splash Brothers, Steph and Clay. And I'm just going to say, as much as I like Clay, he's not exactly killing it in the last few years. Just saying. But go ahead.
He didn't play for 3 years.
I'm
I mean,
just
he was
saying,
hurt.
when Dumars or
Hurt.
Isaiah shot it, I'm pretty sure it was going in.
I'll go with the Piston guys just to be different. Isaiah is one of the most underrated guys because everybody just looks at the fact that he was a jackass and the way he ruined franchises trying to be a general manager. But as a player and as a competitor, like he was off the charts, and he's one of the few superstars that actually sacrificed, like, the way they played. I mean, they scored in the 80s, and they had to figure out a way to beat the Celtics and the Lakers to become champions.
They had to turn it into hockey.
Yeah, and they did. And talk about tough. Like, and Dumars is a Hall of Famer too. I mean, he's another terrible executive, but again, Curry and Clay are, all-time shooters. These guys are all around tough. Like if it came down to a game, I'll take those two guys in their prime.
I'm with you on that. I like the toughness, the old-fashioned style. They could have won 3.
But did they?
They won.
I thought it was all about rings. I thought it was all about rings.
They won 2.
Whoa! Beep, beep, beep. What?
They won 2 in a very.
Okay, 180.
They won 2. They should have won 3. In a very physical
Thomas and
era
Carl should've won
of
8.
basketball, when the game was entirely different than what it is today. I'm going with the guys from Motown there. They won 2. It's not like they didn't win any.
I'm going to agree with them. And like you said about the Pistons, they were a tough team. And Isaiah was tough, but he did it with a smile on his face, kind of, and kind of was the face of the franchise. But really, like Jay said, they sacrificed a lot. Fun to watch. They changed basketball too. The way they played made it ugly to win.
He was basically Isaiah Thomas is basically a nasty Kyrie Irving for younger people.
His dribbles are just
Yeah.
as good, right? I got it. I'm so happy that you guys chose that because I thought this one was hard for me, which is why
You're taking.
I'm definitely going the other way. I mean, these guys just
Shocker.
make it rain, dude. You might as well play outside and wait for the storm to come in. Like bang, 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 bang. When they get hot, I'll give you 30,000 reasons why it's a good thing.
I agree with Mac as much as I don't like to. I go with the Golden State guys too. I mean,
What do you
people
say?
forget that Klay Thompson is a really good defensive player. I mean, he all defensive team 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but you're forgetting.
Dumars
that
is
Joe-
great on defense.
All right, thank you.
Dumars is fantastic on defense.
Thank you.
Isaiah and Steph, neither one of them guarded anybody, but Steph was better than Isaiah.
Don Father.
Isaiah guarded.
Who?
Wait, what happened? Don Father. And this for you too, Angry J, Commish, all you guys. If Jordan liked Isaiah Thomas, he would be considered he would be considered in a different light, right?
He met the criteria.
Huh?
You ever see that?
Yeah.
Isaiah.
But I'm just saying, if him and Jordan didn't have whatever beef that, we know what happened when they walked out on him during the Eastern Conference Finals, but if he was viewed differently by Jordan, Isaiah Thomas is an entirely different light, in my opinion, because I thought he was one of the best players that I saw for those 12, 15 years.
That's a good point.
Fair. AJ, what do you got?
So I was actually going to go with the old guard, because I think defensively they're better, toughness they're better, and I think pre-injury Klay Thompson was, a special player. Post-injury he's not quite the same. But again, I'm gonna play your hand and say the table went old. I'm gonna go new and say Steph and Klay would just torch him all night long.
Yeah. If they're going to guard him, they got to go pretty far out to guard him, man. All right.
You can trade 3s and 2s.
Little bit of a JV one coming up here. Going way back for a couple of these guys, or for both. Dominique Wilkins. I'm going to put Kevin Willis for the Hawks with him. And I'm going to go Clyde Drexler. I'm going to throw in Jerome Kersey. I think it makes it fair because we got a brute forward that can score, and we got an electric otherwise player.
About Uncle Spliffy.
Nah.
All right, I'm going Portland. They got the 2 finals. Enough said. What did Atlanta do?
How many did they win?
No, don't worry. They got the 2 finals.
Yeah,
Atlanta never sniffed it.
Western Conference titles. I'll back that up. I'll go with Portland. Kevin Willis was a solid NBA player. He had a really, really long career, and the Drexler Dominique comparison is, while they're different positions, they are both superstars in their own right. I don't know if you could say Dominique was ever the second best player in the NBA at any point, but you could say Drexler was until Mike made sure everybody knew he was the second best player. But again, they made a couple of Western Conference Finals. 4 good players. I think Kersey's definitely the 4th out of those guys. But I'll lean towards Portland, guys.
He was no Kevin Duckworth. Kersey.
He's not around
What do you got?
anymore.
The Duck,
He's
I
not around
know.
anymore.
Neither one of them. Kersey or Duck.
I like Dominique and Kevin Willis. I
Kersey.
think they were more dominant, I guess, in a game. Again, Jordan could stop Drexler. Jordan could stop anybody, but nobody could stop Dominique. He was so good when he wanted to score. I don't think anybody could stop him. I like those two. And you got to go back to the logic. They got to 2 finals, yet he didn't take Malone and Stockton because they didn't win any of the finals they got to. I mean, I don't understand what's going on.
You were comparing them to different players, though, that got the finals.
Commish.
It's all about the
Drexler and
comparison.
Kersey.
Huh?
Drexler and Kersey.
I'll go with the Atlanta guys all day. I mean, Neek was awesome, and he was at least the best dunker on the planet one night, and he came in second just because that's the way the world works. He destroyed the rim on those with those tomahawk and double pump and all this stuff. I'll definitely take those 2. AJ, producer, who'd you take?
Portland.
Did he go Portland? All right, so Kersey. I'll give anyone in this dude $1 if in the next 10 seconds you tell me the name of the college that Jerome Kersey went to.
Do I count? Or you're naming that?
You're in the
Longwood.
studio.
Longwood.
Longwood. Okay,
Thanks.
you got it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. What does he
He's
win?
never given you $1 either.
What does he
by the
win?
way.
Oh, $1.
Got it right now.
Is that still a college?
I don't think so. All right, how about GP and Sean Kemp, the Rain Man, versus CP3 in almost his prime in Blake Griffin. I mean, we're talking highlight reel city here.
That is the best
I'm
one
going
time.
the glove in Kemp. They got to a finals,
I wish the Kemp put a glove on.
lost
once
to
in
the
a while.
Bulls.
Ooh, you got a couple.
I'll back that too. I just think Peyton's nastiness wins out over Chris Paul, who might be one of the better point guards of all time. But if you had to take in a game or a fight, I'm taking Gary Payton over Chris Paul. So as dirty as Chris Paul is, that cheap shot to Gary Payton is not going to go.
Did you think Kemp was
Untouched.
better than Griffin?
No, I would actually take Blake Griffin in his prime over Kemp. But
I think Kemp was meaner.
yeah, I would. Yes, I would say Kemp. They offensively Griffin is better. Again, eras are tough to say, but like Sean Kemp was a really good player until he went to Cleveland and decided to be fat. So,
Commish.
CP3. And based on,
And
I know, I forgot.
DeAndre Jordan?
No, DeAndre Jordan's on there. CP3, who was the other one?
Balake?
Balake. Who's the other one?
Blake.
Griffin. Blake Griffin, in that stage of his career, was really, really good.
He was.
Like you said, CP3 was he's going to go down as an all-time point guard, so I'll take that tandem.
I'm going to agree with Kamish. I like CP and Blake. Blake's a way better offensive player than Kemp. I mean, I love Peyton. I hate CP3. But CP3 was good on defense, too, and he was no slouch. He was one of the better defensive point guards for like 10, 12 years in the league.
Yeah.
Bobby Mack, real quick, was Peyton and Malone on the Lakers at the same time?
Yeah.
yes.
They went
Crazy
for
how
like the
that worked
LeBron
out,
thing.
huh?
Yeah. Didn't work. Hey, who was it that Kemp dunked on and pointed at him and like pumped it? Was it Gatling?
He did Chris Gatling's one, and he had another one on Allen Lister.
Allen Lister.
Al Lister, yeah.
Elton Lister. What an athlete.
I got to tell you something.
Guy was like 60 years old playing in the league.
I'm gonna go Seattle. The
God, you
Seattle,
have to.
the Seattle Denver series, the Denver matchups back then were
Yeah.
like, that was must see. And how could Seattle not win it? I mean, who got in their way? Was
Yeah,
it Jordan?
They had
Jordan guy was
deadlift
pretty
shrimp.
good.
How do you lose with shrimp?
He was awesome.
Hershey Hawkins, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton,
Where'd Hershey Hawkins go?
Bradley.
The Braves. Yep.
Seattle needs an
only place I've
NBA
ever
team
known.
back.
I got some trios to go against each other, but we're gonna push it off. We've had a good run tonight. Bagel or donut?
Bagel.
Same.
Same.
Bagel.
Donut all day. Coffee, hot or iced?
Iced.
Hot.
Iced.
Ice.
Oh my God.
What do you think Cashman likes? Definitely hot.
He likes tea.
Star Trek or Happy Days?
Star Trek or Happy Days?
Easy one.
Happy Days.
Happy days.
Al's
I-
place?
No matter whether it's Al or
Never
Arnold.
watched Star Trek.
I can't.
Oh,
watch
Arnold.
this.
I meant
don't
to say
think I've
Arnold.
ever watched
No, Happy Days, definitely. When Fonz didn't get over the cars on the motorcycle.
Oh, that was
Or when he
devastating.
jumped the shark?
Yeah.
That's when he jumped the shark?
Yeah.
Happy days all day.
Sweep.
I don't know. I didn't go yet. How about the host? I gotta go Star Trek. Aurora.
I've never seen
Captain
one episode
Kirk?
of
Star Trek? Who watched that?
All right, inside the NFL or this week in baseball?
Oh, Bonacani and Dawson.
This week in baseball.
This week in baseball, nothing beats the music.
This week in baseball, same.
Twib Notes is the best, man.
Yeah, I'll go this week in baseball. What's more violent, the opening kickoff of the college season, like the two colleges' first games, or two NFL teams squaring off in like freaking London or the Philippines or something? In other words, where's more energy, excitement, and people hitting
College.
each other really
College.
hard?
College for sure.
College, absolutely.
Do you guys get gassed up for that like I do in like late August, September when the
Penn
first good
State,
game's
Ohio
on?
State, yeah, or like the Alabama and
No.
somebody on a. I used
Somebody
to. I used
lays
to a lot
somebody out
more.
and-
I used to a lot more. Not as much now.
Means back to school.
That does stink. I want to thank our executive producer, our prompt executive producer, for joining us. He gets our stuff out 48 hours tops, no matter what circumstance he's dealing with, and we want to thank him. I did want to talk about Sports Dad because I heard "Do a Job" like 50,000
That
times
was the one I
today.
brought up, right? Do a
Yeah,
job.
"Do a Job." I heard. You know
Terrible.
what? I can't get it out of my head now.
It's terrible.
But you know what? Travel Coach also says "Do a job." And what's the job? Like, it's first and second, 2 outs, and the guy's swinging out of his butt. Is the job to hit a double? Do a job?
Do a job. That's what they say.
And then every time they get a hit, they act like it's their advice that got them the hit. I mean, the travel thing's bothering me.
That's a big baseball thing, though. Do a job.
Do a
I'm
job.
not. I'm not used to that in basketball.
We should start
Is
doing
that
it
just a
in
baseball
regular day
thing?
life.
Anytime there's a batter up, there's two guys on or something. The coach will say, "Do a job" or something.
Do a job?
Here's what it.
Oh.
What
Here's
does that
where.
mean?
No, it stems from this. It stems from when it's first and second, nobody out. You do have a job because you just got a sign and you moved up in the box. What's the job?
The job's the bunt.
Get it on the ground, right? Move those guys over.
Do a job.
So now
hit behind
they've
the
they've
runner.
turned that into when you're bunting, say do a job, do a job. Now they do it like all the time. It's like when people start screaming no doubles because you got an 8-run lead and there's nobody on. Like no doubles because they heard like a bunch of other people say it. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It's just like the freaking sliding mitt. Don't get me started on that.
Do a job and wrap this up.
All right. I thought Angry enjoyed being here, but travel.
I
coach-
love it. Let's go. Let's go on our hour.
NCAA coach is becoming travel coach. He wants to do a job. All right. Seriously, AJ, thanks. Kind of happy birthday to Jay. Happy birthday, USA. Kind of happy birthday, Canada. France, good luck. Other than that, Yanks are staying hot, and for the first time in a long time, I'm not hopeful. Bye, everybody.